You know, for all of the good faith that video game adaptations have gained over the years, there's always got to be that one project that comes out and reminds us about how truly bad they can really be at times. And Until Dawn is one of those. Welcome to Bite Size Bunny, my name's Tony, and today we are going to be talking about Until Dawn. Yay! In Until Dawn, we follow a group of friends that come across this mysterious house when they get lost during one of their trips. When the friends enter the building to try and get directions, they quickly realize that it's abandoned. But before they can leave this mysterious place, they find themselves trapped in a time loop where they must survive until dawn before they can leave this place forever. If you're thinking to yourself, wait a minute, that doesn't really sound like Until Dawn, well, yeah, you're right, it doesn't. One of the main things that was communicated after the first trailer dropped for this movie was that this was not going to be a one-to-one adaptation. And I'm totally okay with that, as long as it manages to capture the soul and essence of the property it's adapting. And instead of being a retelling of the story told in that first game, this was meant to be more of an adaptation, kind of covering the various gameplay mechanics in Until Dawn, where the players can experience so many possible different outcomes in their stories. But even with that being their big talking points for this movie, they still fail horribly at making this feel like an actual adaptation of any kind and really warranting using that Until Dawn name. But it's hard to watch this movie and not wonder why they even bothered calling it Until Dawn outside of banking off of the name brand that's attached to the IP. So as an adaptation, it totally misses altogether. Nothing works here whatsoever, and instead it kind of feels like one of those awful U-Bowl adaptations that we got in the 2000s. You know, classic gems like that truly terrible Max Payne movie. But putting all of that aside, how does Until Dawn work as a horror movie? If you strip away the name, does it work as a mildly entertaining, semi-competent horror flick? No, it absolutely doesn't. Far from it. I would say this is probably on par with some of Blumhouse's worst films we've gotten over the past few years. This honestly kind of reminded me of Annabelle Comes Home from the Conjuring universe, where it's barely even a movie and instead feels like a crappy horror amusement ride filled with shitty fan service that's sprinkled throughout the movie for the real fans to try and win them over with good old member berries. The direction in this movie is atrocious. It feels so half-assed and lazy. It's a classic case of, instead of trying to build a cool atmosphere that has some genuine scares and thrilling moments, they just substitute it all for lazy jump scares. The performances are really underwhelming as well, but I think that has less to do with the cast and more with the direction they're being given. It also doesn't help that the script is so underbaked, and instead of focusing on having an interesting story or well-written characters that are even a little bit likable, they're way more focused on the kills and the scares. But again, the scares are ineffective and the kills aren't even fun or well done. Overall, this is a completely forgettable movie that really isn't worth your time or money. Thankfully, I'm definitely not going to be remembering this one in a matter of days, and I'm going to be giving the Until Dawn movie a 2.5 out of 10. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review. Like, subscribe, and all that YouTube stuff. And what's the worst video game movie you've ever seen? I'd love to know.